This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy coming to you live from Joe Cotton Ford and Carroll Stream, part of our AM 560 business tour normally, but not today. Today we're kicking off the sale of our tickets, to our Freedom Summit in October.
Yeah, October 27th at the Chicago Westin Northwest in Itasca. This year's speakers include former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clark, James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, plus AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Joe Walsh. We will all be there. You can get tickets at freedomsummitchicago.com. And this event always sells out, so do it sooner rather than later. But if you're in the area right now, you can stop by Joe Cotton Ford at Gary and North Avenue in Carroll Stream and sign up to enter to win a pair of tickets and come say hello, enjoy a free cup of coffee from I Have a Bean Coffee Roasters. And again, enter to win tickets to Freedom Summit 2018.
Yeah, I Have a Bean, good Colombian and Ethiopian brands they're offering this morning. And also, it's Coffee Roasters with a Mission. They specifically employ ex-offenders. So ihaveabean.com if you want to check out more about both their mission and their product. So remembering John McCain, how should we? You heard reviews from across the political spectrum over the weekend, the Sunday talk shows with the longtime Arizona senator passing away over the weekend from brain cancer. One of them from our very own Dick Durbin. Talk about being damned with faint praise. Dick Durbin on McCain.
Well, he always had a voice of clarity and vision and courage, but I remember those moments of uncommon decency, which is unfortunately in short supply on the American political scene. I can recall when he rose to the defense of Barack Obama at a moment in the campaign when very few expected him to. Contrast that with what we went through in the lock-her-up chants of the last election. I can remember when John spoke out clearly against the white supremacists in Virginia and made it clear that he considered them to be cowards. And I can remember when he stood up for the issue of immigration, not an easy issue for anybody, certainly not a conservative Republican from Arizona. We spent 6 months together negotiating a bipartisan comprehensive bill, 4 Democrats, 4 Republicans. John was our leader, and we knew with him in charge, we were going to finish the job right.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, remembering John McCain as the opportunity to take shots at Trump, that is the sliminess of one Dick Durbin, one of the most disgraceful politicians in Illinois history, in the history of our country. We should be ashamed as a state. We continue to send him back to the Senate just because he's mastered the art of saying completely unreasonable, mendacious things in a reasonable room temperature tone of voice. And he did it again over the weekend. Matt from Cary tweeting in, I'll always remember McCain for reaching across the aisle to Republicans.
Oh, well, he was a bipartisan champion. That's what, everybody was saying over the weekend, because he can relate to both the left and the right, maybe more to the left. But here he is in his own words. We knew that, the family decided to stop medical treatment on Friday, and he passed away on Saturday.
I hope those who mourn my passing, and even those who don't, will celebrate, as I celebrate, a happy life lived in imperfect service to a country made of ideals whose continued success is the hope of the world. And I wish all of you great adventures, good company, and lives as lucky as mine.
It's a nice sentiment, and of course, his military service is to be respected, and I think you have to separate his military service, his service to our nation in the armed services, from his 35 years in political office. And that 35 years in political office is something very much open for debate as you reflect on his legacy or anybody else's who served in public office for that long. For additional reflections on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by the First Ladies of Punditry, our friends Diamond and Silk. Diamond and Silk, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us.
So how do you think about John McCain, and particularly in the context of President Trump being one of the presidents, the two former W and Obama attending his funeral, speaking at his funeral, Trump not going to be in attendance at his funeral?
Well, I don't think that. I think McCain stated that he wanted Obama to preach his eulogy. Am I correct?
Yes.
Was it something like that? If it was something like that, Obama's not even a pastor, but he wanted him to either speak or preach at his eulogy, and he didn't want Trump to attend. And I think that his wishes should be respected, but we also must understand. If you put politics in this here, John McCain, I don't think he too much cared for our president. And if you really want to bring up some things, we can bring up some things about that dossier. And John McCain was dead in the middle of that. Now, let's take politics out of it. Let's talk about him as just a man that served in the military. He served his country. He served people. He's a maverick, and that's what we appreciate. And he's going to be missed.
What do you think
about all I can say about that.
Yeah, but President Trump didn't call him a hero. He just offered condolences to his family, and then he Instagrammed a picture of himself instead of John McCain saying, our condolences go out to him and his family.
I think that the president handled that well. He handled that well as can be. Imagine somebody hating your guts. Imagine somebody hating you, and every chance they get, they throwing a dagger at you, and you are the sitting president. What was the president supposed to say? The president don't have to bend over backwards. He said what he said. I think it was in good taste. As a matter of fact, when the president tweeted it, we retweeted it.
That's right.
What he said.
And remember, our president is not fake. He's real.
Right.
He has feelings, too.
Yeah, it's interesting, the fine line between being gracious and being disingenuous, right? I mean, you had disingenuous statements, I would argue, from Barack Obama, a man that his campaign vilified as George Wallace, as an anti-immigrant bigot. They circulated evidence-free rumors of him having an affair. But when the left does it, when the left slanders and inflicts calumnies on the opposition, that's just, hey, it's just politics, man up.
Right.
And so when President Trump sparred with McCain, even when he did so perhaps not to my liking or to the liking of others, it's genuine. If there's genuine dislike, I'm not going to be a phony. I'm not going to suggest that I believe something I don't believe or I have feelings that I don't have. And if that comes across as ungracious, so be it.
Well, I don't think that the president was being ungracious. I think he was being gracious enough.
And he was being real.
He was being real.
That's right.
You have to also understand now, certain people aren't saints. And I don't want to bring up the past, especially when somebody has served our country. I don't want to bring up the past and dig up the past. But certain people, hands are not cleaned.
That's
I'll say it like that.
And John McCain is dead, and it's time to allow him to rest in peace.
Right.
Period.
And I don't want to dig up past bones. I think the president handled it well. And so now let's mourn his death and let's move on.
You ladies were recently on Fox News with Jesse Waters talking about the Chicago violence. Who and what can save Chicago, do you think?
Well, first of all, that mayor need to step down. That's one of Obama's cronies. He need to step down. And what's going to save Chicago is the people of Chicago. We have to get into the minds of our black brothers and sisters and wonder why they are killing each other. Why are they shooting up the innocents? That's what's going to have to happen. I think that the president should send in I was going to say the feds, but they just as biased. Somebody need to go and investigate. Somebody need to go down there in Chicago and investigate. Because here's the reason. You cannot have that level of violence without somebody turning a blind eye. You have turf wars. You have people slinging drugs, turf wars, shooting this, shooting that, innocent people getting crossed up in all of this here and getting shot.
That's right.
Who's getting paid for all of this here?
Yeah.
Because there's too much violence for somebody is getting paid to look the other way is what we think. And so send somebody down there to investigate it. And he is going to have to send the National Guards in there. And I'm sorry, black people is going to have to stop killing each other. This is black on black crime. This ain't about no white police officer killing a black man. This is black men killing other black men, and other citizens are getting caught up in the crossfire, and it has got to stop.
That's right.
I want to go back to all that transpired last week and get your take on how the president handled the plea bargain of his former fixer, Michael Cohen, and the conviction of Paul Manafort, one who pled guilty to 8 felonies and the other who was convicted of 8 felonies.
Well, here's the thing. Manafort, okay, so they convicted him. I think what they did was very shady. Going back into somebody's past because you don't like who they are associated with, that should be prosecutorial misconduct. Cohen, Let me tell you something. What did he plead guilty to? The stuff that he pled guilty to wasn't even a crime. That's what I don't understand. And then let's take it all the way back.
All the way back.
Who ordered the hit on Michael Cohen? Who told them to go in there and raid his office, and he's a lawyer? Now, this is what I don't understand. The Clintons can beat up their computers, beat up their phones. Wasn't Hillary Clinton disbarred? She was disbarred as far as I know, and maybe I got it wrong. I'll say allegedly, but the FBI don't go in there and raid their office. They have to tell the FBI what they is and ain't gonna do. But then you have a lawyer that was cooperating, and then you send the attorney general in New York. You tip them off, and then have that man's office raided.
That's
for
right.
What? So that you can find out some dirt on his client, which was Donald Trump.
Well,
they thought he was paying out hush money to cover,
Okay, wait. So you mean our government is spending our tax dollars to run down some hush money about a porn star, but we ain't got no money to build the wall? And let me tell you something. If it was hush money paid, it wasn't taxpayers' dollars. So why are you bringing this to the citizens' face?
That's right. And what about the congressional hush funds for members of Congress and their staff, where taxpayer dollars are paying for those people that have allegations against them? We are paying for that, and they won't even tell us who are these people. Who are we paying these people off? What about that hush fund?
That's right. What y'all don't understand, and this is why it just hits me to the core, because this is prosecutorial misconduct,
That's right.
prosecutorial overreach. This is what they used to do back in the day with black men. They would railroad them and pin something on them just to get something so that they can go to jail. And I see it happening to a sitting president, and they have to stop this foolishness.
And one more thing.
Go ahead.
Was Michael Cohen's Fourth Amendment rights violated?
That's right.
What probable cause gave Mueller the right to go to the U.S. Attorney General in New York to say, let's raid his office and his hotel, and he is an attorney?
That's right.
What is the probable cause?
And where is Jeff Sessions? Because when you see this level of biases happening to American citizens, you are supposed to step in to protect them, not sit somewhere being Sessions and hiding and looking like you half scared.
That's right.
Oh, boy, there's a lot to react to there. Just a point of order, Hillary Clinton wasn't disbarred, but let me ask you this about Michael Cohen. You know, Michael Cohen, I mean, he committed bank fraud and other financial crimes, but you think Michael Cohen is a victim?
When did he do it? When did he do it?
He did it within the statute of limitations, and that's all that really matters.
He did it within the statute of limitation, but Mueller was appointed to do what? To investigate what? Russia probe, the Russia collusion.
Which is why he farmed out to the U.S. Attorney's Office in Manhattan.
By Rod Rosenstein.
But wait, answer my question. You think Michael Cohen, who defrauded banks and is otherwise a bottom feeder, is a victim in this story?
I'm not saying that he's a victim, but what I'm saying is that when you see stuff that don't look right, you got to call it out.
Let
me tell you something. I'm not on no Michael Cohen side. I'm very disappointed in him. I'm very disappointed on how he tried to stab our president in the back to save his own self.
That's right.
But what I don't like is for somebody to tip somebody off, go in there, raid his office, and this is only to find stuff that have to do with the president.
With the president.
So you can embarrass him, character assassinate him, and smear him is what I see.
Yes, it's not fair.
Calling it out. And forgive me if I said that Clinton was disbarred. Maybe I got the story wrong. But what I don't understand is I saw colluding within the DNC.
That's right.
You had them tearing up their computers, beating up their cell phones. Why didn't the FBI go in and raid them?
That's right. And you had the FBI to go in and darn near hog-tie Michael Cohen's hands and feet, stripping him of his dignity and integrity just to get him to squeal like a pig. Is what you had the FBI deliberately do.
Yes, his Fourth Amendment rights were
violated.
But everybody want to look a blind eye. Everybody want to turn their heads. They want to snicker. But today it's them. Tomorrow it can be you.
Yeah.
That's why Sessions is going to have to step in.
That's right.
This is supposed to be about Russia collusion. Let's find the Russia collusion. If there's no Russia collusion, I don't like the prosecutorial overreach.
That's right.
I don't like that.
And all of this is being done just to impeach 45, baby.
That's right.
All this is. This is all a straight setup, and the president is being railroaded, and this is how Mueller and his cronies are doing it.
That's right.
Diamond and Silk, host of The Viewer's View. Diamond and Silk, the first ladies of punditry. Diamond and Silk, thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate your spiritedness as usual.
Thank you for having us.
And they joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
What I say